Broke Ride Media.
You're now listening to The Straight Shooter Show with your host, The Straight Shooter.
Welcome to The Straight Shooter Show. We sure appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend with us. It means a lot. We do a lot of work on this podcast, and it's for you guys. I get so many questions from people that are like, how do you find your purpose? I mean, what do you do to figure out what you should be doing? And people that tell me that they feel like they're just going through the motions. They don't really have any direction. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about it this morning and tell you that you have to, nobody can tell you what your purpose is. That is something that you have to dig inside and determine what your purpose is. Whatever it is that gets you excited. And if nothing gets you excited, search for something that gets you excited, something that puts a fire in you, something that you look forward to doing, and why you are doing it. It's so important to know why you are doing things. I mean, why do you get up in the morning? Why do you go to work? I mean, are you just paying the bills? Do you have kids? Do you have parents that need help? Do you have, friends that are counting on you? There's all kinds of reasons why. And when you have the reason why and something that is burning inside of you, that this is a passion for me, that's your purpose. But I believe that your purpose can change over time. It doesn't have to. I mean, some people they can determine young what their purpose in life is. This is what I am passionate about, and they will spend their whole life, working toward that goal, toward those goals, that purpose. But for other people, it could be, this is my purpose for now. This is what is driving a fire in me now. And I'll give you a few examples. When I was 18, I started this business with my mom and dad, and I was very passionate about that business. I was working 80 hours a week. I mean, I would get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to start making deliveries. I would, go on sales calls all afternoon after I got done with all my deliveries. I would, make all the supplies, get all the supplies for manufacturing, or I would have to be at the warehouse to receive the supplies. Then it was a food manufacturing business. Then I would get all the production started, in the late afternoon. And my mom and dad both worked full-time jobs, so they would show up, around 5:30 in the evening, and I would already have everything underway. And, we'd work till, 10 o'clock at night to get everything done for that day. And then I'd go home, go to bed, and I would get up again. I wasn't making any money. I mean, I literally wasn't making any money. I mean, enough to eat on and, buy cigarettes and soda pops. And that was pretty much it. I didn't date. I didn't have anything else going on in my life except that business. It was my purpose. It drove me. I mean, I wanted to build that business. Ultimately, we didn't build it as big as I had hoped. I was pretty naive to think that in the category that we were in, that we would be able to be competitive with the limited finances that we had. But we were able to build it to a point that we could sell the business. And so, I mean, it's better than just shutting it down. Had I not found that as my passion, as my purpose, we would not have built it even to a point that we could have sold the business, and got some money back out of it. At any rate, obviously, that's not my purpose now. That business is gone. For the last 18 years, my purpose has been my son, to raise a productive human being. That's been my purpose. And I'm not saying that as he's graduating high school, he's going to start a life of his own, that he's not still my purpose, because he is. He will always be. He's my son. But he doesn't require that much from me, and he hasn't for a few years. So that purpose has kind of started to, lower on the list. In the last year, I found TikTok and this podcast right here, and it has become my purpose. Working on my life coach certification, that is my purpose. This is what, in my life, the things that are driving me to get up every day and function and strive for something. Why? Because I enjoy helping people. It makes me feel good to help people. When I get messages from people telling me that I have changed their relationship with their spouse or their mom and dad or their kids or, whatever I've done for them, that gives me purpose to continue to do what I'm doing. And so when I get the question, how do I find my purpose? I'm just saying you have to dig in inside yourself. What is important to you? Find something that is important to you that will light a fire inside of you. And when you find that, you will have your purpose. And it doesn't have to stay that way forever. It can change, but that will be your purpose for now. It will motivate you. It will keep you going. And again, the reason why. Why is it important to you? You have to have a reason why that purpose is important. Because if there's no reason, if you're just doing it, it's not gonna. That's not your purpose. There needs to be identify the reason why that's important to you, and then strive for it every day.
Or even if your purpose is wrong, right? Like I'll give you not a story, but an example, and that example is me. Because when I was a kid, since I was 6 years old, it's all I ever wanted to be was a cop.
Right.
That's it. And since I was 6 years old until I was 21, I molded my path to accommodate that goal and that purpose that I thought was mine. And I did it for the majority of my 20s.
Right.
Well, I got out of law enforcement. It wasn't my purpose anymore. I was having a hard time with it and stuff like that. And I realized my why, like you're talking about, was not good. I was being a cop for me. Right. You see what I'm saying? And if you're a cop for yourself because it fulfills something inside of you, you're not being a cop for the right reasons. You're a public servant. You're supposed to be serving other people.
Right.
And I don't think I could still do that. It's not that I don't care, but I still want to help people. I still want to have love for people, and I still want to help people. I still want to stop on the side of the road and help people and stuff like that. But being a cop is so much more than that, and you have to do a lot of things that aren't exactly comfortable. You see what I'm saying? Like sometimes there's a law, like I didn't agree with arresting people for marijuana, but sometimes you have to because it's a law, but my why changed. I realized my why wasn't appropriate for being a cop. And now this thing, I'm 35 now, right? And I spent the majority of my 20s being a cop. And this thing that I set out my entire life to become is not my thing anymore.
Right.
And it was hard for me at first because then I didn't have a purpose at all. And that was hard. It was real hard.
And it'd be a tough transition. Because
it changed. But now my purpose is my family. And it's so much more fulfilling than a career could ever give me. So you hit the nail on the head, man. It can be different. 100%. It can change. It can be different. And then also I'd like to add to examine your why. And if your why isn't coming from a good place of morality or whatever it is, then you may change your why or change your direction that you're going.
Yeah. Because some people will say, well, my why that I want to do this is because I want to be rich. Okay, why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be rich? What do you want to do? If you have this windfall of money because of whatever it is that you're doing, what are you going to do with that money?
Yeah.
What is the reason?
Not you need just to have a plan.
To be rich.
You need to have a plan, right? Because if you get all that money, you don't have a plan what you're going to do with it, you're probably not going to be rich anymore.
Right.
Or you're not going to stay rich very long.
Right.
You're going to tank. You got to have a plan. You have to, and you have to have a why. Why do you want to be rich? Are you going to help people? Or are you just going to build a big house? Are you going to invest it? What are you going to do? Right. Yeah. Everything has to have a why, and the why has to be appropriate.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
Not only do you have to have a why, but you have to have a good one. That's fitting, Don't just be like, I want to be a millionaire and buy an elephant.
No.
What?
And that's another thing is when you do develop that why, set your goals, because if somebody just says, well, I want to be a millionaire, but then they don't set any goals to achieve it, that's not a goal. It's a wish. I wish
Yep.
I was a millionaire. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool to sit around and wish all you want and watch, while you're watching The Real World on MTV, but you got to do something,
Yeah.
It's like Kobe Bryant said, Kobe Bryant was talented and one of the best basketball players of all time, but nobody saw that even after he was in the NBA, he was the first one in the practice gym and the last one to leave. And even off the basketball court, he was investing and spending all of his time. His idea was the Mamba mentality or whatever, was that you can retire when you're done. You can retire early, but right now there's no rest days. There's no days off. You work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, well, unless you're sleeping, to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
And you've got to set those goals and achieve them. So, and you can't go wrong with following that mentality, So
I agree.
I got a couple emails for you.
Let's have it.
You want it? All right. Friend of the show, Isaac Cable, emails in.
yeah.
And he said, I want to tell you once again how much I appreciate your podcast and how much you help people in so many ways. I have an update to share with you. My middle son's mom contacted me, and it was a friendly conversation, and she said she would come up to visit, but she has not come back to visit once since I made that deal with her. She has invited me to work with her to change his last name because we were unmarried. So he carried her last name even though he goes by my last name. The problem is she has no proper ID. Other than that, everything with my middle son is going great as always. On a side note, my ex-wife communicated with me to apologize but refused my visitation with my other kids. I'm being forced to seek expert help to fix the situation because it's been nearly 2 years or more that she has denied me my unsupervised visits, and I wasn't able to financially find a lawyer at that time. Now I have the opportunity to offer a new deal and hopefully have the family court enforce my visitation and prove her otherwise unfit, since she has not been in my oldest son's life for nearly 2 years or more now. I'm considering offering her a deal, but after brainstorming, I'm concerned she will make a big deal of it. I've considered different scenarios, but in all of them, I want to retain full custody that I already have in the end, since I've had my oldest son and been active in his life since he was 2 months old. I know I'll be giving and taking because the court system is never on either side. I've thought about being lenient towards my terms of visitation if she'll give me what I want in return, of which is more than full custody because of the solid evidence. She does not want me having unsupervised visitation, even though it's in the court order. She is allowed the same, but she never asked for it since the custody order was established. I understand neither one of you are lawyers, but what would you recommend in an ideal custody deal with someone who will knowingly go against it and never ask for their time? Just so you know, my oldest son doesn't even know her, and it isn't my fault because I tried to offer the court order time recently right before she cut communication again. Thank you both for your input. So what he's saying is one of his kids he doesn't have custody of, and he's fighting for visitation?
I think it sounds like two. Maybe there's two.
Yeah, because he has custody of a couple of his kids, right? Okay.
Right.
And that's what the call was about that one time, and he was trying to get the other woman to be a part.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on who because he says his oldest son is with him and doesn't even really know mom because she's never been a part of his life. So but it's his middle son that the mother, that he had a visitation with her. I think took his son to see her. On the last update.
What would you think about us just getting him on the phone in a couple weeks and talking to him about this instead of answering this email out of context right now?
I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay.
To do that.
Let's do that. Isaac, what we're going to do is I'm going to be in contact with you in the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to get you on the phone and talk about the situation. And if it's time constraining for you, to where you need an answer right now, just email me and we'll talk about it. But I think we would just basically be spinning our wheels answering this because we don't fully understand the details. We need more details, so we're going to get you on the phone. Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So on to the next email. I've got a little email here for you that I think you're going to... This is going to be... This for me, I read this and it's got me super interested, and I think you're going to be interested in this too. And it's mysterious, and it's from a every week emailer now that we've been talking to, and her name is Anonymously Me.
It hit me. I knew that's what you were going to say just an instant before you said it.
Yeah.
Just the lead up, I was like, what the hell's he talking about?
So she's messaging us, and this email, I'm just going to read the email to you.
Okay,
You tell me, okay. It says, "Hello, Zach, a.k.a. Matchmaker. I pondered for hours on how to respond. You guys had me laughing out loud. I'm not ready to own up to this email. Heck, I might have more questions. If I say too much, he might figure it out. I will say my real name is much easier to pronounce. If the straight shooter and I ever chat, I'll confess. Be encouraged and keep up the good work." And that's all she wrote. So, I think you know who she is.
I have no idea.
No, what I mean is I think you know this person is what I'm saying. Like I don't know if you know her, like she's in your real life, like out in public and stuff like that, but I think you've had some sort of communication with this person before. What do you think by the email?
Like through TikTok?
TikTok or email or, or Facebook or something?
It sounds based on that, probably have, but I don't have a clue.
What if it's like one of the dispatchers at like one of your drop stations or something you go to at work or something?
I was just telling somebody the other day, somebody had made a comment about one of my regulars, and I was like, the route that I'm on these days, I don't have a single woman. I don't deal with any women on any of my stops on a regular basis, so that's not it.
Okay, anonymously me, we are absolutely stumped, and I said the anonymously better that time. I've still got a little slur in there, but I'm getting better. But I want you to email us again and give us another clue.
Yeah.
Don't give it to us, but give us another clue because we're on to you.
Not really.
No, we're not, but we want you to think that we are. We're on to you. We're going to figure this out. And if you get me too interested, I'm going to put on my old detective hat and we're going to figure this thing out. I'm going to have to off air. I'm going to have to ask you like 30 questions just to. You don't have any idea who this is at all? Do you?
I really have zero idea. But I will tell you this, and I don't know if this person is local or not, but I had done a contest here a month ago where I was giving away some T-shirts, and this woman had suggested the next contest I do, which I've done one since then, but she said, like, the next contest you do should be a date with you. And I did not respond to her comment because normally if I think this is something I might want to address later, I don't hit the like button on their comment or respond because I want to be able to go back to it and find it easily.
Okay.
Because I usually like everybody's comment. I try to like everybody's comments, but if it's something I want to address later, I don't like it because I want it to stand out. So anyway, I didn't like it. And I thought, I might consider that here in another 2 or 3 weeks. I might do a video and be like, okay, well, you make a video or you do, I don't know. I have no idea what kind of contest it would be, but, it'd have to be somebody that lives in Oklahoma or somebody that wants to, because, somebody that lives in North Carolina or California or something.
Yeah, how are you going to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to fly in for a date.
Yeah. Well, if you have a contest and the rules, you would have to fly them in, right? So you're going to have to make it a rule that it's going to have to be in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Would you go anywhere in Oklahoma for the day if the contest winner was in like Muskogee?
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah. Got to square the details out before we do that. Because, But do you think, what are you saying is you think the woman that said that might be her?
I didn't think about that, but maybe I'll have to go back and look and see. I don't even remember.
You think you can find it?
Oh yeah, I can find it.
We're gonna anonymously me. We are on to you. We're on to you. So keep emailing us.
But dude, I'm not big head bragging, but I get messages every week from people that want me to go on a date with them.
I do too, dude. I get all sorts of messages like that. Do you believe me?
No, you're a liar.
I've never gotten one. I don't know. Maybe I'm ugly. Maybe it's the mustache. Everybody's intimidated by the mustache. You think so?
I bet that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
okay.
it.
And also her name is anonymously me 0421. So I'm wondering if this is her 421st.
421.
Are you trying to figure out what that signifies?
April 21st or April of 2021. Or
Well, it's not April yet. No.
But maybe that's a birth date.
Yeah.
You know what?
Or it's her 421st anonymous email account.
Could be. Could be.
Okay.
I've got some friends that are pretty good with computers and that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll check out, find her IP address and find out where she's located.
Well, that would be cheating. We can't do that.
Okay.
We've got to figure it out like detective wise, because I could probably do that. I don't want to do that. We'll just figure it out. Anonymously me, keep emailing us little hints and we're going to figure you out. Okay. All right. Well, we got a call today. It's from JG. So that's all I'm going to call him. I think no, not JG Wentworth, but let me see here. I'm going to read his email real quick so we can kind of get an idea what he wants to talk about, okay?
All right.
His name's JG, and he says, "Hey, Straight Shooter, first off, I want to say thank you for all the advice and knowledge you give out to all of us. It has helped us out hearing your podcasts each week and watching you on TikTok. Second, how do you recommend having the I'm moving out talk? I'm almost 29. I currently still live at home and have been wanting to move out for quite some time now. Reason I haven't done it before was because of financial debt. But if all goes as planned, student loans and car will be paid off in a month. So leaving me debt-free aside from my monthly expenses, I know my parents would prefer me to live here, but I don't feel as comfortable as I once did. I feel as if I'm still a little kid and I don't have as much privacy. I know when I have the talk with my mom, will get emotional, and my dad would make it a little more of an interrogation. That, and it as soon as I let them know, I'm sure my cousins and aunt will know that I'm planning on moving out. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thank you and God bless." So we're going to talk to JG and you're going to answer that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. JG.
Hello, JG.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, man.
So is your phone number 188 Cash Now?
Not sure why.
It was a joke about the JG Wentworth commercial. JG.
Oh, gotcha. No, it's not.
Anyways, all right. So, he read your email to me, but go ahead and tell me, for the listeners, exactly what's going on, and I will let you know what I think.
All right. So yeah, the thing is, I've been trying to move out. Well, not trying. Have the idea of moving out for quite some time now, and usually when I bring up things like that with my parents, they're not too accepting of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily that they don't support me. It's just that they can't just grasp the idea of me moving out, I guess. And having the talk with them, it's not going to be something that's going to be too easy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So lately I've been actually debating, contemplating the idea of actually just moving out, getting my own apartment, or possibly buying my own house, since my debt is going to be pretty much zero in a way. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
How old are you again?
28.
You're 28. And
Sure.
What do you do for work?
I'm a construction estimator.
Is that a degreed position?
Yes. I will pretty much work in the office, so whenever we have new construction come in, we'll take a look at the plans and do a quantity takeoff and provide a bid to the contractor like that.
Huh. And do you have any kind of savings, or have you just been concentrating on paying off debts?
I've been pretty much just focused on paying off debts right now. Currently, the only debt I have is my car, and to be honest with you, like next paycheck, I'm pretty much golden with that, so I can just send out the final check and be done with that.
Huh.
The only bad thing about that is that I'm going to be completely at zero again, but I mean, I won't have any debt at that point.
How you get paid once a month or every 2 weeks or what?
Every other week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're 28. You'll have no college debt. You'll have no debt. You'll have your car paid off. Do you have freedom at your parents' house? Like do you date?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Have you dated? I mean,
I have.
have you had freedom to bring girls to your house?
Not really.
No.
Not just out of respect too, because I know that they don't feel as comfortable just bringing in a complete stranger that they don't know.
Yeah.
And I actually saw that when we had a relative living with us last year. She moved in with us, and then she had a boyfriend, and then he would come to the house every now and then, and they actually got annoyed with him that in a way they kind of said like, hey, you guys need to tone it down, or if you guys are serious about each other, just move out together. So that's what they ended up doing.
Right.
So in that sense, no, I don't feel like I have that freedom of bringing someone home.
Yeah.
Or just things like that.
Well, it sounds you probably make a decent money based on what you don't need to tell the listeners how much you make, but it sounds like you probably make decent money. So I understand your parents are trying to cling on to you. They don't really want you to, completely grow up. It sounds like maybe even your mom a little more. She wants you to be her baby. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one younger sister.
Yeah. And is she in the same position as you? Is she done with school? What's she doing?
Well, for one, she's married already. She's 2 years younger with me, so she has her own little family already. She did finish school, and they moved out about a year ago because they bought their own house now, so they live like 5 minutes away from us. So
did her husband live there at your parents' house when they got married?
Yeah.
So your sister had never moved out until she got married and they bought a house together.
Correct.
Wow. Where do y'all live? What state y'all live in?
In Arizona.
And are your parents really religious? I mean, are they church every Sunday or no?
When we were little, we did. We used to go to church every Sunday, but after, I don't even know why we stopped going. That one weekend, we just didn't go.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
So then, yeah.
I've been there a few times in my life.
Yeah.
So here's what I think. I think you need to form a plan of what you think is realistic. So let's say you wanted to put like a 6 month plan where you're not going to have any debt. You can pretty much, stockpile cash from your paychecks with no expenses, so that you've got a decent amount, and maybe it needs to be 9 months. I don't know. Well, you need to figure out what you think is right, but you need to form your plan. Okay, this is what makes sense to me. In this amount of time, I can have this much money in the bank, and I can maybe I can go buy a house at this price range. I can have this money to put down or pay closing or whatever, and I can afford this mortgage and still have this much money left over after paying the mortgage, and then you need to allow for when you buy a house, shit's going to go wrong. You're going to have to pay whatever, something's going to happen. You're going to have expenses. Right. And once you have that plan put together and put down on paper, then, I would just say, look, Mom and Dad, I would sit down with them and say, look, I'm almost 29 years old and I have zero debt and I have this plan. I'm going to save this amount of money, and this is the house I'm going to, the price range of house I'm going to buy. I am so grateful to you guys for, everything that you've done for me and allowing me to live here as long as I have. And, I will never not, be part of your life. I will still be, active with you guys, but it's time for me to grow up. It's time for me to have my own place. It's time for me to, I want to be my own man. I want to be my own person. And, it's going to come a time, and now's the time. But I think if you've got a plan put together and to set their mind at ease that, this is what I've already accomplished, Mom and Dad, and this is what my goal is, and this is what my plan is. They may still, give you a little grief, but for crying out loud, you are. I mean, you're 28. You've done obviously a good job of paying off your debts, very commendable, and it is time. It's time for you to do your own thing. I've done videos that I've said I want my son to live with me until he has 50 grand in the bank, and I don't care how old he is when that time comes. But my son has the ultimate freedom to, I mean, if he wants to have a girl over, he can have a girl over. I mean, I don't want him running random girls through the house all the time, but if he's got a steady girlfriend and she wants to come stay the weekend, I'm okay with that. So, he has that freedom, and he lives on the other side of the house from me. And, for me, it's like, look, I'll feed you. I will shelter you. I will help you. I want you to, have the best opportunity you can, the best start at life, which it sounds like your parents have wanted for you too, based on what you've told me here. But, if you don't have the freedoms that you would like to have, I understand. You need to have a plan and get out, and they're just going to have to accept that. I mean, I don't know that there's going to be an easy way for your mom to accept it other than what I just said, having a plan to set her mind at ease.
Let me ask you a question, JG. So basically what I'm gathering from this situation is that you want to move out. That's what you want to do, but you love your parents and you're afraid they're going to be mad at you over it. Is that correct?
Correct. Well, not necessarily mad at me. I just feel that my mom's going to take it really hard.
Yeah.
Just since we've been together. Well, pretty much, I lived with them since I was born.
Yeah.
Right.
There were about 3 years that I lived a few hours away just because I was in school.
Yeah.
And like every time I would get dropped off, this was before I had a car, so they would drop me off whenever I come visit home, and I can just see that she wasn't happy that I was away.
Yeah.
She knows I was doing something good, but I was still away.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then I feel that when I move out, she already has that mindset that whenever I start dating or I get married or whatever happens to me, that I'm going to completely forget about her.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel that guilt, not necessarily guilt, but I feel like that she's not letting me spread my wings, in other words.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the deal. If you want to move out, that's what you want to do. And you're 100% sure you want to do that. And you do Jason's 6-month plan to build up the necessary funds to do that. And then on the 6 months, you do that. And you don't have to talk to them about it right now because you don't want them to be like, try to change your mind if that's what you want to do. And then you go ahead and move out. The only way to dampen the blow would be to prove to her that you're not going to forget about her, that you're going to go over there regularly. Are you planning on moving far away or just kind of in the same area?
To be honest with you, I kind of more than move away from this area just because it hasn't been the safest in a while. So
yeah,
I want to move somewhere closer to work. I've worked. Well, it's like about a half-hour drive from work, but I want to move to the east side of the valley. In other words.
Yeah.
How far away would you be then from your mom?
Roughly 40 to an hour. 40 minutes to an hour. That's
not bad. You could still go. I mean, you would be you'd still be able to go there a couple times a week, huh? Or once a week even?
Yeah. I mean, I would, like I tell my friend, I talk to them about this situation, and it's not like I'm going to forget about them. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be here every Saturday or every Sunday for breakfast or, something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm trying to make is it's going to hurt whether you do it now or 5 years from now. It's going to hurt her. A little bit. You see what I'm saying? And I know you don't want to hurt your mom, but you also have a life to live and you're not getting any younger,
True.
Yeah. I think you like I said, have your plan together, and maybe it's not a bad idea to go ahead and save for 3 or 4 months before you say anything so that you don't have 6 months of manipulation of them trying to, sway you away from that. Maybe just a month or two before you say, look, I've done this. This is how much I have saved. I've done this over the last 4 months, and I'm starting to look for properties now because it's going to take you a few months to get into a house, from the time you start looking anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, especially prices for the houses will keep on going up. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be hard in the beginning. But the only thing you can do is be consistent in showing her that you're still her baby, you're still her son, and you're still gonna be there often. You see what I'm saying? Because you can still have your time that you're looking for, whatever it is you're looking for to get away from. You can still have that, but you can still have a strong and dependable relationship with your family.
right.
And I might even joke with her if she starts giving you a lot of grief about it and be like, Mom, don't you want grandbabies? Because, I'm never going to give you grandbabies as long as I'm living here.
Yeah, that's true. She keeps on pressuring me, not necessarily pressuring me, but she's like, "Oh, I want your grandkids already." Like, oh my god, like,
Yeah.
not right now.
Well, I can't do that and bring the girl home to, at the same,
Yeah.
the act it takes to have grandbabies. I can't do that in your house. So I've got to get my own house. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Buy a house and then just go over there just to have dates,
Yeah.
though, like this is a good problem to have though. I know it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have because you have a family that cares about you so much. And then you also care about them equally. Like I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have this family love. So I'm not envious of you, but I'm very glad that you have that relationship with your family because nobody wants to lose each other, right? That's what this all stems down to.
Right.
Is nobody wants to lose each other. And so that's good. That's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really impressed by the fact that you have stayed there as long as you have, and you've paid off your debts. And that's commendable. It's really impressive. And the fact that you've done that should show your mom that, you are, you're a responsible young man and you are capable of doing what you need to do. So,
Right.
I don't know if any of this that we've talked about is going to make it any easier on her or you for that matter, but that's what I think needs to happen. That the plan, wait 4 months, say something, and then just take action. That's what, it's time. You're old enough, it's time.
Yeah, I always feel that it's always hard on them just whenever their kids move out. They've mentioned it before how, you raise them and then eventually they all end up leaving at one point. So
That's what happens.
Just making the transition easier. That's the only issue, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's just part of life, man. That's what happens. You raise your kids, they move out, they get families, they have their own families, and that's why it's important that spouses are have a good relationship, because in the end, that's what it comes down to is, your spouse. That's who you cling to. You don't cling to your kids.
Right. That's true.
So keep that in mind whenever you do have a family, that your spouse needs to come first, because in the end, it's going to be you and your spouse. All right. Well, JG, I hope that we've helped you some.
Yes, it helped out a lot, actually.
Well, good. And I would like an update for sure. We always want updates. Put it on your calendar, say 4 months from now or 3 or 4 months from now, that you're going to send me an email and let me know how things are going, that you've got money saved, whether you've had the talk or not. And then from that point, we'll get another update from you maybe 6 months later.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the show.
Good luck, JG.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You bet, man. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
You're right, man. That really is a great problem to have, that they all, seem to love each other, so much, and they all care about each other. Mom definitely has to let go, though.
Yeah.
He's pushing 30.
Well, she probably doesn't want to, and you can't blame her. You can't change someone's emotions,
Yeah, but she can't control her son's life.
No.
It's time for him.
28, come on, man. Like, how long are you planning on this thing stringing out,
Yeah. She wanted him to stay till he's 35 and then start looking for a family. or just never? I mean, does she want them to stay there until they're gone and then he can start his life?
I think he should not tell her until like a couple weeks before he moves out. Well, no, because you don't want her to think you did all this behind her back.
Yes.
Be like, hey, I've already got a house. I've already got this. You don't want to do things behind her back. But like, man, like,
I think
you don't
2
want
months
them,
is adequate. 2
yeah,
months.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right because you don't want. I mean, because you are going to get some manipulation still in there in that 2 months.
Yeah.
But you also don't want her to think that you did something behind her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to do stuff behind her back. But the only way he's going to be able to prove to her that everything's going to be okay is by him consistently going back and having family time. And I mean like setting a day every week that you're going to go by and you're going to go inside and you're going to kiss your mom on the forehead or the lips or whatever you do, whatever you kiss, go give your mom a kiss, go sit down and show her that she's still one of the most important things in your life. That's it. That's the only thing he can do, right?
Yeah.
He's ready to get out though. I could tell.
Yeah, I think this has been a trend too for the last probably 15 or 20 years of, kids and primarily males going to college, coming home, or maybe staying home while they go to college and not moving out. It has been an increasing trend I've seen, which is not a bad trend, really, in my opinion.
No,
to stay, with mom and dad if mom and dad are cool with it and want you there, and they are financially able to, if all the person has to do is save money and maybe buy their own food sometimes and pay their car, payment and insurance, and they can save money, why not?
Yeah.
Up to a point when he or she, whoever the child is ready to spread their wings and start their life, then there should be no resistance from mom and dad.
No.
If they've prepared, and it sounds like JG has prepared himself for that, then mom and dad should allow him to, without giving him grief.
And he didn't really say that she was going to give him resistance, like she wasn't going to give him grief over it. He just knows it's going to hurt her, and he doesn't want to hurt her. That's great. That's great. Like, man, that's all you can ask for is like a son that that cares about his mother's feelings enough that he doesn't want her. And then the mom cares enough that she doesn't want him to move out.
Yeah.
Great problem, man. Great problem to have. I didn't have that, man. I didn't have that. And I'm not I don't want to say I'm jealous, but I secretly am. Like, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
I wish I had that parents cared enough about me that,
when I divorced my son's mom, I agreed to pay her a fairly large amount of money per month for 6 months. And me and my son moved back in with my parents. I was 30. Hell, I was almost 40. I was 37.
Yeah.
We lived there for like 8 months at my parents' house.
Was it bad?
It wasn't horrible, but
what was bad about it? Was it just because you were older and you felt bad for living with your parents, or?
Maybe a little, to a degree, that was part of it. And like him, I didn't really have any privacy there. Hell, me and my son slept in the same bed. We slept together every night. So, it was definitely a big transition, but it was kind of tough, living with mom and dad at that age.
Yeah. Well, it's all JG knows. Well, he went to college for a little bit, and then so he was out then, but it's pretty much all he knows. So, but it's that what's is starting to outweigh itself there.
Yeah.
The saving the money and still living at home, because there's this problem, but then there's this reward. You see what I'm saying? And then if you move out, then you're going to be spending a whole lot more money, but you're going to have the freedom. And it sounds like that scale is starting to tip towards he's willing to pay the extra money to have a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's life. But this is, like I said, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. And if you handle it right, you can soften the blow for sure. So, but we appreciate the phone call.
Absolutely. Keep us updated, JG. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, take us out, Jason.
You guys may not always agree with everything that I say here, but one thing's for sure, I'm always going to shoot you straight.
You have been listening to The Straight Shooter Show. Come back every Wednesday for new episodes.